of course, I wanted to talk about a topic. I'm not going to turn the camera around on me right now. I'm driving, but I did want to just chime in on the shootings in Parkland, Florida, the tragic, circumstances behind that and all. I wanted to just chime in because, you turn on TV after something like this, and then there's like this nonstop talk about gun control and assault weapons bans and, all these kind of things. And it's a tragic event, the loss of life, this kind of senseless loss of life like this is always tragic, especially when it involves children. Very tragic. But a lot of the talk about gun control and about gun violence and about assault weapons bans, don't be fooled, people, by this talk. You never hear, and this is my opinion, so, you can say what you want to say. And everybody knows, I'll start my statement with, everybody knows I am a registered member of the NRA. I do believe in Second Amendment rights. And like I said, so I'm going to preface my statements with that. But I want you to think about something. Now, in 2000, let me just go back to 2009. In 2009, in the city of Chicago, there was a complete and total weapons ban. A ban. I mean, a complete ban. You couldn't have guns, period. And you know what? That year, they had one of the highest gun violence and homicide rates in the entire country. When there was a ban, a complete ban. Now, we always hear about banning guns and assault weapons bans and gun control after one of these mass shootings that happens in like one of these suburban areas. But people, if you go and look up the numbers, and they're real easy to find. If you go look at the numbers for how many people are murdered in the inner cities and how many people of color, I'm not making this a black-white issue, but you know what? Ain't nobody crying for a weapons ban when all these people in the cities is getting shot and dying by the thousands. Hundreds of them murdered, thousands of them dying, nobody saying nothing until yesterday. That's kind of strange to me. Now, yesterday, when it's 18 people, in a, suburban area, students, just like in Sandy Hook, all of a sudden, oh my God, we got to ban these guns, these wicked assault weapons. Now, strange enough, I heard a guy today on CNN talk about a complete and total assault weapons ban. He sounds like an idiot. I mean, do you know how many of these murders and all of these murders and stuff that happen in these major cities, the thousands that are being shot, the hundreds that are being murdered, you know how many of these murders are being done with assault weapons? Not many at all. Most of those acts are happening with handguns. Okay? But the problem is not the guns. And that's the problem, is nobody is addressing the issue. How about we just drop guns and just talk about the violence? What about the violence? What about the issue of all these crazy, insane people out on the streets now? We're not addressing the mental issues. We're not addressing the social issues. We're not addressing, all of these other issues and all these other things that factor in to the violence, period, that's going on in this country. And it's not just the guns. The guns don't, if you sit a gun in a safe place, that gun's not going to kill on its own. It has to have a hand to pick up that trigger. Now, there are laws in place that are supposed to protect us from people suffering from mental illness, from felons, and all those kind of things. Those laws are already in place. All we have to do is enforce the laws that are on the book. and make sure that responsible, law-abiding citizens are the only ones that are owning guns. We don't enforce the laws we have. I'm not for all this, making sure that people can't get guns. It seems like, the way people are talking, they don't want anybody to own guns. You tell that to somebody that lives down on the southern border. You tell that to a woman that's raising her kids and living in a violent neighborhood, can't afford to move. She got to work and got to live where she at, and she can legally protect herself. Tell that to her. I'm sorry. I hate what happened in Parkland, Florida. It's a terrible thing. But people, wake up. There's a long history behind people wanting to ban weapons and this whole move behind, banning gun violence. We don't even talk about it. When it comes down to what's happening in the inner cities, why we ain't dealing with these gang issues? Why we not dealing with these social issues? No, just ban the assault weapons. Man, that's crazy. I'm sorry. I know that's my rant and that's my rave and that's my opinion. I'm sorry if you don't agree with it. I know everybody thinks if we just ban all the weapons, then all of this stuff will go away. But I don't agree. I don't think that's what will happen. When only criminals have access to guns, then only criminals will have the guns. And if somebody kicks in your door in the middle of the night, and it's 3 or 4 or 4 or 5 or 6 deep, you think you just going to call the police and they're going to show up right away? You're going to put your trust in the police department or anybody else to protect your family, to uphold your safety. I'm sorry now. Now look, I believe in Christ, and I'm a God-fearing Christian, and I believe in the Second Amendment, and I think that it's my responsibility to protect my family. I trust in the Lord, but people don't be foolish out here. Listen to what these people are saying with all of this propaganda, and then think about the timing of it. And then look at the real statistics, the real numbers. And then look at how many people are not being killed with these assault weapons that they're so willing to ban. And whether the government has the right to tell you what you can own and what you can't. All right. Love y'all. I know y'all probably going to have a lot to say in the comments, but that's where I stand on the issue.